Hello and welcome to Gaia GPS. This is where we pull cards for the Astro transits in the week ahead. I am Mimi and I'm here with a very special treat. I'm here with Maya Kana and Zaire Kana.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. So yeah, I think most of you know me by now, but today I brought along Zaire, and he is my twin flame. I was going to say twin, and Mimi said, no, you got to specify that you're not biologically related. So we are not biologically related. He's my twin flame, and we just thought that it would be just wonderful to work together with this week. GPS, and that maybe this would help to offer you all a little bit of a different frequency. So let us know if you like having Zaire here today. But basically, we work together to help everyday people achieve true love. So for the most part, I do readings and Zaire does coaching, and we've been working together more recently. So I thought Zaire might like to experience the GPS and just see if you guys like it too.
And I'm excited to be here. It's a pleasure to be with Mimi and my twinny flame over here. So hopefully I can provide some wonderful insights and some perspective for you all to take away.
Yay. Thank you, Zaire. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited to have divine masculine perspective this week as we move through these transits. So we have overall a simple week transit-wise. We just have a bunch of lunar transits going on. But in the background, we are building into this eclipse. And I've suddenly lost my voice, of course. We're in the eclipse corridor, building into this solar eclipse that, people are very excited about. And there are some, happenings underneath it. So I'll bring those to mind as we go through. So we're starting this week with the moon in Taurus. Moon in Taurus, grounding us, getting us to be present, accounted for. We actually have some strong earth energies right now, like really bringing us into our body. And with Mercury retrograde also in an earth sign, this is definitely a call to be present in our physical. And I'm going to show you, I'm working with the animal deck this week, Animal Spirit Guidebook. I love the animals. I happen to pull these for me every day because I love them so much. And I think this one's so cute and so funny to start with. I have beaver for this moon in Taurus. And what I thought about with beaver, the song Whistle While You Work came up with this. And that is the quality of beaver. Hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. And that really is, those are qualities of the Taurus energy. And so what I'm thinking is like, gosh, I keep thinking of this card and I don't know what it is, but like it's from the oracle, the wisdom of the oracle, and it's like, sweep the decks, wash the floor, mop the floor, dust the cobwebs. What card is that? Do you know what card that is?
The chop wood card.
Yes, that card. That's it. That's the card I keep thinking of when it comes to Taurus energy. There's so much going on, but this can be so grounding to attend to the details, to attend to the things that need to be tended to. It can kind of keep some kind of order and semblance in your life. And I do feel like just as we affect our surroundings, our surroundings affect us. So, do a little dusting, do a little mopping, whistle while you work, get your surroundings feeling comfortable so you can like nestle in, feel comfortable, feel good, feel surrounded in and by the energies, because there is a lot going on, as you all well know. And I have from Osho the projections card. I have the burden card. So between the projections and the burden card, there's so much outside stimulation that can affect your mind, which I feel is why, like, as part of your grounding work, get your environment in alignment in a way that will work for you. And this will work for you. It will bring about beautiful possibilities. Taurus, it does have this reputation for, production and work and that kind of thing, but it's also our talents. And again, I feel like when our surroundings are like comforting to us, when our surroundings are supportive to us, that's when these divine possibilities start coming in, and we can focus on these things instead of getting lost in these projections, lost in these energies that are swirling around us, and not get burdened by these energies, and we can be our best selves, because that's what the universe is only ever asking of us, that we show up as our best selves. And to finish up, I'm using the Goddess deck as well, and I have Mother Mary, expect a miracle. And again, I feel like with these turbulent energies that are all around, you know, what's going on in the world and, you know, in the Astro, always holding space for miracles is a powerful thing. And I love Mother Mary, nurturing energy. I think we can all use this nurturing. Expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. And I think that's one of the things, you know, don't forget to pray during these times. If there's something going on for you, pray and trust. Trust that these things are gonna, you know, work themselves out. It always does. Everything is always working for us. And, you know, this is the universe's part, to bring in the miracles. You do your part, chop wood, sweep the floors, dust, whistle while you work, and then let the universe do its part. There we have balance, which also goes along with this possibilities card, which is a 2, which is about finding balance. Maya?
Yeah, so I actually have 3 cards that work together to produce a very interesting opening message. So the first here is from Divine Guidance. This is the Dragon Guide card. And then immediately after that, I got discipline as our lesson. You guys, it's not love this time, okay? The message is you can accomplish what you set your mind to. And then I also got this comparison card from the Osho Zen Tarot. So I'm looking at these together. And basically this is saying to me that some of us might find ourselves up against people who actually question our goals and objectives and priorities for our life. And we are being offered an opportunity through this. You know, it's not always that great when people don't agree with our priorities for our life, or when they question our spirituality or our motivations. However, the message from Spirit is stay disciplined. Stay disciplined. Know your values. That is what Taurus is all about. What are your real values? When you get down to the basics, when you get back to simplicity, what is it that you want for your life? Know that going into this moon in Taurus, now is a great time to reflect on those fundamental values, and to be sure that we're not making our values based on comparison. And this is a hard one. This is a really hard one. A lot of us find ourselves comparing ourselves to our friends or family or to other people that we know that are soul connections. And what Mimi was saying is, you know, that this is a time to be who we are, and that is the best way to embody our soul and our spirituality. If you are this bamboo here and you are comparing yourself to this maple tree, you're going to be very confused. And that's essentially, you know, what we need to understand during this transit, is that we are all here for different reasons. Your job is to be an embodiment of your values and to be disciplined in working towards your goals. I think this Taurus energy is sort of compatible with the Mercury retrograde in Virgo, in the sense that both of them are bringing us back to the awareness of our body and our goals and objectives. And the Taurus energy, I think, is a little bit more of an energy of simplicity. I have the harmony card here, which basically says that we find harmony the best when we are able to focus on the simple aspects of our life, and that those simple goals and desires and values, that they always emanate from the heart. So my message here today is to get in touch with your values, get in touch with your values and your goals, the simple, most fundamental goals, and be willing to work towards those this week, you know, with the moon in Taurus. And this Dragon Guide card does add a little element of, you may be tested by people who don't agree. And those people are giving you the opportunity to get even more clear on what your values are. And this Dragon Guide card says it's okay to stand firm in what you believe and what you value, and that you're supported by Spirit in doing so, as long as those values and goals are in alignment with your truest heart's desire. So that's my sense of this moon into Taurus. Now you, Zaire.
Well, everyone, I've been working with a Shaman Oracle deck recently. I had some wonderful insights during this retrograde lunar eclipse time. The card that I pulled for Moon into Taurus that was revealed was the Ember card. That, yeah. And I don't want to read all from the card's description, but I do want to mention this point right here. I think it really summarizes some good things that Mimi and Maya were saying. I am Ember. I'm the primitive fossil resident in our ancient tree brothers. I am down to earth, yet I lift the spirits. So I think it's this wonderful idea, this perfect blend of alignment and refinement. This is a perfect opportunity for you to get out into nature, somewhere without all those distractions, those opinions of others or people in your soul group, your karmic partners, things like that, and really get down to earth, really start getting your survival skills and how you show up in the world, and think about them in a big picture way. Even think about them in a patience, a calm, those big ideas of how do you approach a problem, how do you approach a situation right there. So I just think that's a perfect way of doing it. And just be mindful, as it's the start of maybe a typical work week. This is how you want to carry yourself. What is the big picture? What is the goal? What are you working towards? And I think once you got to get out into a grounding environment, whether it's a park, an actual trail, just out by your garden, these big picture ideas that maybe we think about when we remove all these other opinions and other energies that are not actually us, sometimes those big things don't require a lot of effort. Sometimes it's just adjusting the dials a little bit. Remember, it's alignment and refinement. So I just wanted to share that with you folks.
I love that. And it's so interesting. Your energy is so grounded. I'm like, oh, I feel it. I feel it grounding me because I'm like, here. And I was like, oh yes, that was very sage Taurus advice. That was perfect. I love that. Thank you. And that really good segues very well, actually, into my next cards. So we have the moon shifting into Gemini on Tuesday. It's going to shift Tuesday morning Pacific time, like 7 a.m. Pacific time. And like I said, we have background things going on. With this moon into Gemini, we are going to have a bit of a cardinal T-square. We're going to have Venus, Jupiter, and Pluto all squaring off each other. And so when the squares come up, there is resistance. So the combination of Gemini and Leo is usually very jovial and playful, but I don't necessarily get that. I'm going to start with this card. I have the tuning in card. And my feeling is between this T-square energy and the building into this next eclipse, being in this eclipse corridor, and the retrogrades, we have 6 energies retrograde right now, this Mercury retrograde. There are a lot of revelations coming through. So this is a good time to tune in. Now, the animal guides have a very interesting message because I pulled hyena, which is about humor, wit, and sarcasm. But what it warns against is using jokes and like humor as a mask, basically, to cover up what's really going on. And like I said, between the Gemini and the Leo, this usually is jovial. And Gemini I'm a Gemini rising. It has a tendency to want to laugh at everything, to play it off as if everything's okay, to wear the happy mask in public. Don't have to wear any masks. We're all feeling intensity. So don't cover what's really going on. Don't hide from what you need to tune into during this energy. It's okay to go into it. And honestly, if you're allowing yourself to dive in, delve in, go into any of this information, I have the success and the completion card. This energy will allow these revelations to come in and through, let you finish some things up, some of these karmic energies, some of these old energies. Eclipse times are a time of strong endings and new beginnings. So if you do this, it will lead to this completion and success. So it's beautiful if you do that. But the jokes, the laughter, it may be a distraction. Now, I'm not saying don't laugh. Please laugh. Please have fun. Just notice if you are using it as a mask. If somebody asks you how you are, you're like, well, I'm not dead yet, haha, and this person genuinely cares about you, wants to know, this may be a great time to connect and communicate and share what's really going on, because it can lead to, to this kind of realization that can completion. I'm all about this. Let's finish these things up with this eclipse. Let's finish this up. Let's move on to the next lesson. So I think this is really strong. It's also you know, I love the saying, hard times require furious dancing. So the other way, because it's Gemini, so we bring, you know, we bring a nice balance. If you find yourself getting so sucked in and so in the intensity of what's going on, dance, play, laugh. Use humor as your ally to help you keep moving. So we have that balanced message, but I think Aphrodite really ties it together with the inner goddess. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, appreciating your divinity. I get kind of a feeling, though, through these cards, it's kind of like an individual process, you know? This doesn't, to me, again, Gemini, Leo can feel so social, but this doesn't feel so social. It's really going to be person to person and up to you to show up for your individual needs, which may be like, I don't want to be around anybody. I'm just going to be in here dancing in my room. That's probably going to be me this week. Or you may want to be, you know, you may find yourself wanting to be, you know, surrounded by people, but I don't really get that from the cards. I really get this is your individual process, individual time to let these insights, these revelations, that feels like the key word to me, let these revelations come through about this time. So if you don't feel like being out there joking, making laughs, don't do it. Don't be a fake. Hyena does not want you to be fake. If you're going to be laughing, let it be real. And if you're not laughing, hard times require furious dancing. Time to turn up the music and move around. Maya?
Yeah, so I think that this moon into Gemini energy, I think it's going to impact different people in different ways. And I think there are kind of two camps based on the cards that I got, because I did get the celebration card, which is kind of like let the stresses go and dance, like you're saying, and celebrate life. But at the same time, I also got the tuning in card. You know, and this one is saying it's okay. Like, it's okay to go within when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel confused, that the answers are within you. This moon into Gemini, depending on your chart, for some people, it could lead us into a space of confusion or a space of worry, where sometimes our thoughts kind of get the best of us and we get a little bit swept up. If that's you on Tuesday or on Wednesday or early Thursday, go within. And sometimes you're not always going to get a specific answer to the questions that you have, but you'll always get a feeling, and you want to trust that feeling of peace and calm or serenity or whatever feeling it is that comes to you when you tune in, when you meditate, and use that. Let that be enough. I have seen more people who are confused during this particular Mercury retrograde than probably ever before. And so I want to remind people again that sometimes we have these like repetitive thoughts or this confusion. I have the round and round card. Sometimes it's because we need to look at things in a whole totally different sort of way in order to break the karmic patterns that are being healed through this time period. And so be willing to do that. I do think that the moon into Gemini can give us sudden insights if we embrace the energy of curiosity and openness to getting those insights directly from spirit. But I love this card for Mercury retrograde, this round and round card, because it says this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you have gone backward, the truth is that you're standing at a higher level looking down at your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. The reason why I love this is because we can often feel like we are moving backwards when we're in Mercury retrograde. And this Gemini energy, it can, trust me, I know from my own chart, like this can team up with the Virgo energy, and it can make you go like all over the place with so many questions and criticisms of yourself and everything like that. Don't let yourself be swept up in those old patterns. Don't go round and round and round and round and round in the old thought patterns. Tune in, and let the simple answers arise within you. The lesson that I got for this is the worry card, which means worrying about something does not change the outcome. So release those worries, give them to your guides. I almost didn't mention this card because I couldn't believe it came through again. This was like over and over again last week. This is the angelic being card. You are not alone. These are intense energies. Our guides and angels know that these are incredibly intense energies. We are in the eclipse corridor. call upon your angels and guides. Give them permission to support you and protect you. Ask for what you need at this time and know that they want to help you overcome these karmic patterns. That is actually their job. That's the primary job of your primary spirit guide, is to assist you in overcoming your karmic patterns. So ask for help if you need help and know that you are supported by spirit. That's my message.
That's a wonderful message. I'm laughing a little bit because this is sometimes what Maya is, I feel, in the most wonderful way. A huggable, wonderful bear. That's what I pulled for Moon into Gemini. And, well, because I call you Maya Bear so much. So
I love the bear energy. It's so cuddly.
There's just so many different types of bears, right? There's Smokey the Bear, there's Winnie the Pooh, there's the Bearstein Bears, there's all these wonderful characters that we grew up with. But the bear with Moon into Gemini, just like we were saying, the bear is a very curious and rummaging animal. So it's a very powerful animal. It can take its claws through a new fallen tree, some bark, things like that. It could then be, oh, what's that smell? Is that berries? Are those people over there? Okay. Or is it honey? So it's always kind of going out into mischief. But the big idea is that it's in the moment of following its energy, its passion. Okay. It's discovering what's in the moment that's interesting to them. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity for everyone during this period, during this Moon into Gemini, is to be curious, be open about what is being revealed to you at this time. You know, I think this is a good time for when thoughts come up, whether they're good, bad, events happen, good, more challenging, to really take a step back and reflect, oh, why is that going on? Be more observant than triggered or judging or judgmental on it. Because maybe this is the turning point that you can catapult out of yourself with. This is a time where a lot of lessons could be learned. Be like the bear, just be curious, just kind of sniff around, just bat away some things, that kind of idea. Climb up a tree. It goes back into nature, so nature is always a great place to be more observant. So that's what I have to say, and those are my insights for Moon into Gemini.
So love that. I'm over here picturing like how Yogi Bear like handles everything. Like, oh, it is a picnic basket. Like, oh, there's some food for me. That's really cute. That's perfect.
Life's always better with a picnic. So
it is, and in nature, you know, and teasing the park rangers. That is my inner Gemini coming out. All right. So our next transit is the Moon into Cancer. That'll be Thursday morning around 9 a.m. Pacific time, August 17th. Now I want to mention, with the Moon shifting into Cancer, this is like the beginning of our trek into the dark of the moon. So the dark of the moon is the time that comes, you know, as the moon stops showing in the sky. It's the time as we're building into the new moon energy. And in the dark of the moon, there is always potential for shadows to come forth. And like I've been saying in my daily scopes, you know, eclipse time is a time of shadows and light. And I always say we don't want to avoid the shadows. But I think the cards I have are so tender and sweet. And I'm starting actually with the Goddess card, Damara, guiding children. And it says you're good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. I don't think this is so much about outside children, although if you do have children, hold space for them, because, you know, they feel these energies intensely too. And a lot of times what your kids are doing are reflections of what you may not possibly be dealing with in your own energetic field. So if you do have kids, take good care of them, tend to them, but take care, nurture your own inner child. I find that so important during Cancer time. Leo has the reputation for the inner child, and Leo definitely does represent the inner child, but I feel that Cancer represents our inner infant. You know, the part of ourselves that really does need to be cared for and taken care of, that, you know, needs us to hold it, feed it, bathe it, change its diapers, that part of ourselves. We all have this inner infant that needs us to show up on that level. So to me, this Damara card is saying, show up for yourself in that way. And I love it because I have the integration card, which this to me is like the twin card, but this is temperance in in traditional tarot. And so it's the blending of fire and water. So with the sun in Leo and then the moon in Cancer, we do have this blending of fire and water, and it will be through this integration by being able to take that action and then also find our flow, that we're going to be able to move through this time, through this energy, through this moon in Cancer with as much grace as possible. And a big part of this integration will be bringing in the wisdom of your inner infant by tending to those tender, delicate parts of yourself and integrating them into your inner child, the vibrance and the playfulness and the joyfulness of your inner child. Now, what I have with this is I have the morality card in reverse. I always call this the shoulds card. So not getting all shouldy on ourselves. And I have the awareness card, which actually this is the Chariot in traditional tarot, which goes hand in hand with Cancer. It's the Cancer card. So it's moving us forward as we get out of our shoulds and rather focus on integrating how we need to move forward and how we need to nurture and flow ourselves forward. We will be moving forward in a beautiful manner. It will be taking us through these veils, through these shadows, through these lessons that are coming up in and through this energy. Your work will be to not get caught up in the shoulds, like I should be out of bed and I should be doing this, that, and the other. Nuh-uh. That's not going to help your integration. What do you need? If you were a child, if you were an infant, how would you want your mother to tend to you right now? And then tend to yourself as much as possible in that manner, and that will help the integration. I have a beautiful card. This is one of my favorites from the Animal Spirit cards. I have the Golden Egg card. It resonates with the heart chakra, and I'm going to read just a little bit of this. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, time to unfold. That all sounds very Cancer, right? No rushing, pushing, grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease. And then it talks about different ways you can do that. Meditation, yoga nidra, but it may just be cuddling in bed with your cats or with your children or with your partner or with your stuffed animals, you know, or getting out in nature. You know, nature, I feel like, can be very, I don't know, a place of deep and restful ease at times. So this also talks about, I want to just mention this because I think it's so beautiful. It says, within the golden egg, or the heart chakra, lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard nor the message discerned until we retreat from the noise of the modern day life. It talks about the heart chakra as the unstruck bell. And I love that image. You know, we all have this beautiful energy emanating from our hearts. It's a thing called the torus, and it's just basically like this big round energy, almost like a really big puffy donut that's emanating from our hearts at all times. And when we can tend to ourselves, that energy just increases. And I've heard studies, and obviously I don't see this myself yet at this time. Maybe I will at some point. But, you know, we know how much energy our head gives off. But the heart, they say, its power is even greater. Like the energy that it gives off is even greater. But when we actually take the time to travel from the head down into the heart and dedicate some of our personal energy to this energy, it just increases that. And as we're in the dark of the moon, I think, you know, a lot of fears for safety may come up, again, being what's going on in the world right now. What a time to take some time and concentrate on the unstruck bell and really let these vibrations, these heart vibrations, come out. Not only will it nurture you, it will nurture the people around you, and it will also nurture the world. I mean, who could ask for anything better than that? This is where the work really comes from. So this is a great opportunity to tune into that. In and through. Which way does it go? This way. In and through this energy. Maya?
Oh, how beautiful. I loved those messages for Moon into Cancer. And I have a lot of the same ones, so I'll be a little bit more brief with this one. But my real sense of this energy is that for many of us, we're going to be maybe recovering memories from our inner child or from our youth, and we're going to be given an opportunity to be able to heal based on a better understanding of our own inner child. And we may be given an opportunity to forgive or let go of family sort of patterns, or to forgive our parents, or things like that. And this is going to come. I think this is interesting. Like, to me, this feels like a very intuitive time. And the first card that I got today was this psychic opening card. So I'm trying to tune into when this might actually be. To me, it doesn't feel like Thursday exactly when the moon moves into Cancer, but maybe more like Friday evening. But anytime during this moon into Cancer transit, like, take time to quiet within yourself, because this may be a time of psychic opening. It may be a time of having greater links between your conscious and your subconscious mind. And the purpose of this psychic opening is for healing our relationships. I have for the lesson the health card, which is about healing, and the relationship card, which is about knowing that at the end of the day, everyone in our life is there because they are supporting our divine path, and they're there for our highest and best good. And I know that, like, the type of people that are watching this, light workers all over the world, are often born into difficult family circumstances and often wonder, you know, what did I do wrong? How could this person have hurt me, you know, if they're assisting me? Everyone is here to help you become more fully who you really are. And take this time towards the end of the week, if you can, take this time to heal your relationships. This is a time of mending. I have this mending card here from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And this is about finally being able to forgive after arguments that are long past, you know. And it says, when we hold on to our pain, it keeps us chained to the very things that we need to heal. It says, now is the time for healing rifts and letting go of old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Forgive, release, make peace, and make amends with others. This is the only way to set yourself free. And the final card that I have here is the change in direction card. But I thought the image here, like, offered us a little bit of an idea about what might be going on. Do you guys see that? It's an angel looking at a map, and then there's a baby there below in a basket saying, I want to go in that direction. And then the angel's like, is this possible? Is this supportive? What I want to say is this: when we're willing to forgive, and we're willing to heal, and we're willing to listen into our inner child, it does open up changes in our direction, and it opens up new pathways along our divine map. Do you guys see the map? There it is. So if something's coming up for you here towards the end of the week, be willing to see it in a new way. Be willing to forgive, be willing to release. And when you do, you'll notice that there's actual changes that occur in your material life on your path. And that's one of the best ways to catalyze changes.
Wonderful.
I have a quick question. Is that bird a pelican?
I am not good with animal identification, but what do you think?
It might be a stork.
It might be. Oh, yeah, I guess it is a stork. That makes more sense. I was going to say, because pelican is fascinating. We have a lot of pelicans here, and one of the key words of pelican is forgiveness. And I was like, oh my gosh, if it's a pelican and you were talking about forgiveness, how cool is that? But I don't know the animal medicine of stork so well, but still cool. It's close enough. All right, Zaire.
Wonderful insights and wonderful cards. I think the energies are in alignment with us all today. I just pulled the Beaver Moon card, and this is a moon that's, I think, very sensitive to a lot of people right now. This is a moon card about relationships, specifically with the same gender. Okay, and so as we're talking about emotional or family healing, family can be an extension, of course, whoever you resonate with. So family, friends, things like that. Okay, and so this is a time to do that healing. And how do we go about that? We know we can only heal when we share. We know we can heal when we're not competitive or we're not jealous. So going back to that big idea of what the week is, what is this? Plant that conscious seed. What is the big picture? What's the goal? What are you open to? What are you open to this week revealing to you and changing within you right now? And so this is a powerful card for me with my inner circle, with my family and friends right now. It just made me think about, oh yeah, that's probably going to happen this week now too. So again, this is a wonderful opportunity to be mindful of that and notice it, that moon into Cancer period.
I love that. You know what it brought up for me is I live with my mom, and my mom, she's a Cancer and, you know, of the same sex. And that is one of my most challenging relationships. So I'm like, oh, okay. Of course, working on the forgiveness, working on bridging that energy with she and I. I love that. Thank you, Zaya. That was beautiful. And I love the
healing with their mom, unless you're a boy, and then maybe your dad. I don't know. It feels nice. I mean, everyone gives all these retrogrades a bad reputation, but these are the times when the healing of the past is really available to us. And I want to do that. Are you going to do it?
I do, and I'll say the reason why. I mean, the reason why I think it's a great opportunity. So we have Moon into Taurus, Moon into Gemini, Moon into Cancer, and we're going to be talking about Moon into Leo in a bit. I feel like there are a lot of folks out there that obviously there was a worst case scenario. There was a big thing that happened to them, and oh yeah, we'll chalk it up to retrograde. But you can use these moons on how they're changing into different places as little step points about, did I accomplish what I wanted today? Get those small victories into place first. And then towards the end of the week, you're like, I have enough experience. I've done that before. I'm going to use this as an opportunity now, not as a drudge and dread kind of period. So that's what we can do. I think that's what all of us can do.
I agree. And I personally, as an astrologer, I don't dread retrograde so much, besides Saturn. I'll be fair, Saturn retrograde is a tough retrograde for me because I am a double fire sign. I always want to be moving at the speed of light forward, and Saturn is like, we have to review the lessons. You have to take the time to review the lessons. And that's hard for me. But besides that, like the other retrogrades, I'm like, yeah, let's go in. Let's do the insight. That's what I think retrograde is really about, is pulling in. But I like the small victories. You know, this is my goal with this moon. Here's the small victory. That's beautiful. That's perfect. And then you're not focusing all the things that could go wrong with retrograde, because retrograde or not, things are always going to happen. There's always mischief going on, and it's always for our greatest good and for all the lessons that can come forward. So, all right, our final transit this week is the moon shifting into Leo. So this moon into Leo is going to take us into the eclipse on Monday, but we are not going to talk about the eclipse this week. We are going to do our GPS next Saturday and get into the eclipse, get juicy with the eclipse then. But this moon into Leo is definitely going to be bringing in the frequencies, getting us prepared for it. And I have the most perfect card. I have the transformation card. Ah. This is what it's about. This is what moon in Leo, new moon energy, solar eclipse is about. Solar eclipse, the source card. This to me is the card of the soul. And this is what, to me, these energies are working us towards. Always, always underneath all the other lessons that come up through eclipses, through all the other astrology, it's always transformation in order to get us to be in more authentic vibration, authentic expression of, and that is one of the cards, expression, that's an important thing, of our soul source energy. So this is powerful. Do for you what you need to do. Trust yourself. This card, I love this card. This is like a child flying in the sky, you know, preparing to land on pink, fluffy clouds. This to me is the overall energy that Spirit wants us to hold when it comes to everything that's going on. I keep mentioning the Sabian symbol for 28 degrees Leo, which is where the eclipse is. It's birds sitting on a tree. And every time I see that Sabian symbol, when I see it written down, I'm like, it's Bob Marley. Don't worry about a thing. 3 little birds say it's going to be okay. Trust yourself. Trust your inherent innocence, the inherent innocence of your soul. Allow these processes to come through, transformation. Let what needs to come, come. Let what needs to go, go. There may be energies in your life that are coming up for release, completion. We did have that energy. You may find that during this dark of the moon, these energies coming up. Remember that with this eclipse, it is a new moon energy. So it is the beginning, the start of a whole new cycle. So trust what needs to go, let it go. But overall, be true to yourself. I have the compromise card with some cat fur attached to it. The compromise card, And it's saying, don't compromise yourself. Don't compromise your integrity. Be impeccable with your expression, and that will bring about really good, beautiful things with this eclipse. Don't get caught up in the hype or sensationalism. Don't get too caught up in the politics. Again, I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going in the world, but your focus has to be on you and your personal soul development, your personal soul path. And I promise you, if you do focus on that, good things are going to happen, but you've got to trust it. I also have the postponement card in reverse. So my feeling is with the postponement card in reverse is like things are going to begin moving forward, you know, like with all of this retrograde stuff and these eclipses, it kind of can feel like, I don't know, like, you know, when you're, what are those things? I'm picturing at like Disneyland or whatever, they have those little things that you kind of, or a Ferris wheel. We'll just go with Ferris wheel. When the Ferris wheel stops and you're just kind of like hanging there, swinging in the wind, I kind of feel like it's been a little bit like that. And so the Ferris wheel, the Wheel of Fortune, is going to begin again. And some of these things that have been kind of held up, they're going to begin to move forward. So that's beautiful. And that goes hand in hand with this card. Ostara, fertility. This is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. Now, I do think this goes more hand in hand when we do hit that new moon. But like I said, this moon into Leo will be bringing us into the atmosphere of the new moon. So here it comes, and here we have it almost is a new moon right there. That's so perfect. So that's going to be moving us forward. Which next? I actually got two goddess cards. I'm going to do this before I finish up with my animal card. I also have Sulis, bodies of water. And I think I've pulled her for the last several weeks. And I keep saying, tend to yourself, take baths, go to the ocean. You know, it's always nice to move forward with a clean slate. So clearing yourself energetically with the energy of water can be really helpful. Also with the high fire vibrancy what's going on, water can be a nice blend. It can be a nice balancing energy. We had the integration card earlier, which is the temperance, the fire and the water. So that can be really supportive. So find a way to help yourself balance these energies, help yourself clear these energies, and the goddesses suggest Sulis, the bodies of water. So to finish up from my animal spirit cards, I have the black egg now, which goes along with the throat chakra, the Visuddha chakra. And it just talks about being impeccable with your word, not getting caught up in gossip, not getting caught up in hearsay. I think this goes along with media energy, the sensationalism, you know, because the throat chakra, it's not just, you know, what we're speaking, but it's also what we're listening to. So get really impeccable with that energy. Notice how these outside words, vibrations, things are affecting you, and just be really true, impeccable. I keep coming back to that word, about your personal expression. And I want to read you a little bit what it says about the throat chakra in here. The subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Visuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Visuddha translates as especially pure. And the balance of the center is important to all of us. But I love that part, the especially pure. I do think when Leo energy is at its truth, at that inner child energy, it is especially pure. But part of this is going to be you really paying attention to what you're paying attention to. And I always love that, you know, paying attention. We're always buying and selling with energy. What are you buying into? And is it especially pure? Does it resonate with the truth, the authenticity of your soul vibration? And if it doesn't, stop compromising yourself. You do not have to. And this will be a major part of this transformation. Maya?
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I have cards that are along that idea as well of this question that you asked, which is, what are you buying into? We really need to be mindful of that towards this. What is this next Saturday? The moon into Leo. Next weekend, especially, always, but especially now. I got the morality card. and the understanding card. This is a big lesson for all of us. There's a lot of people discussing what is right, what is wrong, you know, on a big, massive scale. The morality card is telling us that we need to think about where our morals really came from. Because if our morals came from a place that is not based on true awareness of all that is, then they may not be guiding us in the proper direction. So this card says, draw your morals from your highest soul level awareness, and be very careful about saying what's right, what's wrong, and judging other people. Because from the perspective of the soul, we have the understanding card, right? And this is about freedom of choice. And so we're being called to simultaneously hold a very high vibration, many of us, and to hold space for a higher outcome on this planet in the future. But at the same time, we're being asked to think about where our own morality may be limiting us and where our own judgment may be limiting us, and to elevate our understanding based on what the awareness of our soul. So I think this is kind of big work, and yet I think we're all up for the task here towards next weekend. I got some other cards that suggest planetary healing is going on. I have the elemental card here, and then I have this sacred geometry card. So this is about the earth right here, and this one is about grid work. So what this says to me is, like, we've got to transcend that part of us. Leo does have to do with the inner child as well. That's like, well, mom said this is how it is, or dad said this is right and this is wrong. No, we're beyond that. We are moving beyond that. We are here to heal the earth, you know, and our job is to be clear vessels and to hold that frequency and to help repattern this planet, because we are at an essential time here in Earth's evolution. So not to go too far above the personal, but do understand that our thoughts are influencing what is occurring on this planet, and the outcome is not necessarily determined. And for the lesson card along that line, I have this abundance lesson, which is really about manifestation. And the message is, I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire into this physical reality. So to me, this is about transcending. Leo is creation. Leo is creativity. And we're being asked to create the best outcome for the future of this planet. In order to do that, we have to let our pasts go. We have to let that conditioning from our childhood go. We have to let our fears go. We have to let the past go and be here in the now moment. And maybe for some of us, the best thing that we can do next weekend is this. Maybe for some of us, the best thing we can do is to hold down the highest energetic grid on this planet that is imaginable. So that's my sense here for next weekend of the moon into Leo.
Wonderful, wonderful. For the moon into Leo, I pulled the hawk. Very, very interesting card. You know, the hawk is a very powerful, strong animal, okay? And it takes conflict with stride. It goes into that. You might have a typical vision of a hawk. You might see it on sports teams that has a big, strong vision. You see it soaring up amongst the fields, seeing all the dangers below, or how could it get its prey, its food, its abundance. And it's very creative in that process, despite all the winds and things like that that could get in its way. So what I see is just flying over the noise, above all the fray, above all the drama that could be in your life, and then be creative as you go throughout it. Pick your spots, know your spots, and pick wisely, okay? I would like to read this one part of the card description, because I think it's very profound. From my higher perspective, the hawk, you can see hazards and obstacles to block your progress. Meanings are often camouflaged in your day-to-day routine. Listen for my shrill cry, and you will know it's time to obtain balance and insight. Follow your heart, your genuine truth. And so there are many wonderful ideas that go into that description, but I think something that all of us have spoken about is that you do need to follow your heart and the biggest picture, the end in mind, the biggest goal. Because if you start catering to all the drama, all the nitpicking, you're not going to be living a fulfilling, happy life, or putting things forward that you're going to be happy sustaining after that. So towards the end of the week can get very muddy, very blurry, very hazy. But remember to be like the hawk and fly above it, notice, observe it, and see where you want to pick your spots to be creative, because that creativity sparks that love, that intuition, that passion in your life.
I love that. I love finishing up with hawk. I think that's a perfect way to complete this week, and like fly high, fly high over this fray. I think that's a really important message. So as we're finishing up this week, I usually broach if I have any specials, which I don't have any specials. You can always go book a reading at Gaia Blooming, or Maya does, but I know we talked about this before. Zaire has a special that he's going to offer.
Yes, yes. So I do life coaching, relationship coaching, twin flame coaching, all along with practical measures and steps, but also including my shaman cards and my chakra energy oracle cards as well. So if you're interested in booking a reading or coaching session, you just have to mention this GPS in your message to me at zairekana@gmail.com, and you'll receive a discount.
Yeah, $10 off any session with Zaire.
And it's $10. There you go.
That's how much the discount is. And you can find Maya and Zaire, actually, their sessions at choosefaithnotfear.com. Do you have anything else that you want to finish up with?
Just thank you again to everyone who watches, and thank you for watching and setting the intention to hold, your highest vibration and follow your guidance in the week ahead, because that alone is admirable, even if we don't always live up to the highest expression of the energies. The intention matters. So yes, thank you for everyone who is tuning in, and many blessings to all of you in the week ahead.
Namaste.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.